Attention human, prepare yourself for the Double Pipcast.
Hey, welcome back to the Double Pipcast, where almost every week we catch you up on the going on within the Transformers trading card universe. With me, I've got Steffon Pinckney. Welcome to the show, Steffon. How are you?
Hey, Mr. Cam, what's going on, man? Thanks for having me. I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing great, doing even better now that I've got you on. You know, last episode we had Dan Arnold, winner of the Energon Invitational, on, and this week we've got probably the most winningest champion of the Transformers trading card community on. And, I just have to ask you, this doesn't come out of nowhere. What experience do you have with other TCGs before Transformers?
Heavy Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been my thing since 2003, 4-ish when the show started. But I started competitive in 2007 and carried that about seven to 8 years. And then had to stop because of my job at the post office at the time. Unfortunately, I'm still with them now, but able to pretty much move up in the ranks and have some time off. And then this game was introduced to me by my one of my good friends, Maurice, and just went from there. So
okay.
Yeah. So the understanding, so as soon as I got to the game, just keep this short. As soon as I got to the game, I knew I wanted to, because I love Beast Wars. I got into Beast Wars, or got into Transformers rather, to Beast Wars. And when I came into the game, I immediately wanted to know who was competitive, what were the good decks, what was, you know what I mean? That's the level I wanted to be on. And found out about Vector Sigma. So, and I actually didn't even realize until halfway through the day at my local card shop over here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, that one of the guys actually was with them. So at that point, I got in with him and, got to know the rest of the guys and went from there. I was already listening to all their podcasts and things that they had prior to actually even meeting Mark, and then went from there. So, yep. That's about it.
So you started with Yu-Gi-Oh!, watching the show, picked up the cards. Now, I played in the first set of Yu-Gi-Oh! It seems like nowadays, maybe it's just they continue to stock the old sets, but it seems like there's a set every month. Or is that
something
true?
Like that? They have little subsets and structure decks and things like that, but they usually for base or the main booster sets or whatever, I think they still stick to about every 3 months. But they do have other little subsets and things coming out all the time that I see. So
So is Transformers your main now, or is it your secondary?
Yeah, it's my main. I was playing this phone app, Yu-Gi-Oh! Migrated another version of the game over to the phone called Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. And I actually was playing that pretty heavily competitively for a long while. They had these big tournaments once a month where it's just $10 to enter, and you can just literally be sitting in your boxers, just chilling and playing on your phone.
Oh, nice.
Or wherever, but on your phone.
Lunch break.
Yeah. So being able to play those tournaments, $10 person. They usually cap it at 140 players, so $1,400 in the prize pool. And then all these people, I don't know where these people get this money from, but everybody's always throwing donations at the prize pool. So first place gets 40% of that, and that's a big chunk. So just making all those tops, and you make a name for yourself on there. That was cool. So I've had some success on that. And then actually backtracking a little bit to the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG, I had a good bit of success there as well. I topped nationals, I topped a couple of Shonen Jump tournaments, YCF tournaments. So I had that that competitive sense, always.
Nice.
So yeah,
nice. Yeah. So what's the farthest you've traveled for a tournament?
Long Beach, California, off the top of my head. Yeah, I've been all the way to Long Beach. I've been to Texas 2 or 3, Dallas twice, Ohio a couple times. I went to Toronto once. No further than that. So Toronto's out of the country, but it's not. You know what I mean? I've never been over to London or any of those tournaments, pairs, which would have been cool, but I just never cared to go that far out. So
California is basically the other side of the country for us.
Yeah, so.
So yeah.
So I did a lot of traveling. That was a good time. I'm 30 now, so that was a lot of traveling in my 20s. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah. So it seems like just from maybe it's just the little microcosm that we're in, but it seems like a lot of the players are, at least the vocal players, are in the Midwest to the East Coast, a lot in Pennsylvania, New
Yes.
Jersey.
Very heavy in eastern Pennsylvania and Jersey, yeah, which is really nice. Happened to me where I'm about 2 hours away from them, but it's worth the drive every time to go play with those guys. So
Yeah, yeah. It's just interesting that you don't hear much from elsewhere, but maybe they just haven't found us on the Facebook just yet.
yeah, I'm about to say the game is still in its infancy. So throughout
Yeah.
time, I'm hoping every year it'll get bigger and bigger. So I'm definitely, I mean, it's cool to see. I guess even at the Energon Invitational, all like the different people, coming about from all over. Even they had a couple of people from London coming over, and what's the other spot?
I heard Australia.
Yeah, probably Australia. Yeah, there's another one. I'm trying to think where Timothy's from. Timothy Teo. I forgot where. Singapore. He came from Singapore.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so that's just cool just to see all the different ideas and stuff people come with, just to know that we're not the only ones trying to, with this competitive sense. So,
Yeah.
so
Speaking of the competitive piece, what are your thoughts and feelings on, the Transformers game's been out for just over a year now.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts and feelings on the Transformers TCG, not only from a competitive sense, but from a fun factor, just in general?
I, soon as my friend showed me, my boy Marie showed me how to play the game, I was hooked in terms of the fun factor, because it was different versus like in Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! And most other games, you have to build your field of monsters or characters or whatever and set everything up. But you actually already start with your guys on the field. So like you already know what you're getting into when you're coming. So like that dynamic is very cool. Mm-hmm. And just being able to like the nostalgia of seeing all your favorite characters finally on the cards and things like that is just very cool to me. And I think what's really cool for me is I still don't know, since I only grew up really with Beast Wars, I'm not familiar with G1, and I'm not really familiar with most stuff after that either. Mm-hmm. Every time I see a new bot or something, I'm very curious. I'll go on Google and like look it up and see what's going on with Astro Train and all these cool guys, because I've never seen these guys before.
You go on the Wikipedia spiral.
Yeah, that's a big one for me. So it's more than just, I know I talk about the competitive a lot, but I mean, that's just my nature of it. But outside of that, no, it's just very fun to see the lore and people get excited for this character and that character, and I'll go look them up. And then like when people call out characters, and like I said, we get previews, it's pretty cool to see. So
yeah,
definitely a lot to look forward to, more than just what's the best cards and put a deck together. So
yeah. Would you say that it's less complex than other card games that you've played?
I get a headache after a good bit of Transformers. I don't know why. So I want to say it makes me think more than Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever did. I don't know. It's weird. I will say it has this unique complexity. I'll say that.
Yeah.
It's a very unique, like the way you have to like think ahead. You have to think turns ahead. The character, like what I really like about the game is you really. I said this in one of my previous videos. If you have one turn, you really have one crucial turn. Like no matter how cool your deck is, Shockwave, discard in your hand, Grimlock swinging for 20 and killing 2 characters, Optimus just being Optimus because he's the coolest guy. All those things. No matter how cool your deck is, it always usually comes down to one-on-one and between a couple of health. I like how most games are close. So it usually takes, what I'm getting at is it takes that one crucial turn for you to either make the correct play or the wrong play, and you can lose because of that.
Yeah,
and in most games I played, I've noticed that it really is one turn. There's a couple turns where you can misplay, but you can still win. And I've done both. I've misplayed and still won. But like there's just that one turn that is really crucial, and so I like that a lot about this game.
Yeah. So that one turn, has there been a moment where you're probably not going to get your combo, and so you have to make that judgment call and switch it up and play a phase 2 or like a plan B style?
Yes, but then a lot of times like it's like if they have it, they have it type thing. Like I'm on I like to use the analogy. Remember Spider-Man and what was it? The second one when he had to hold Mary Jane, or maybe it was the first one, I don't remember, where he had to hold Mary Jane in the bus of kids. It's like that decision. It's like if you do this and they have, like if you play your armor and they have the batch shield, you lose. But if you play your weapon and they, it's just like if they have a sabotage armament set or whatever, there's so many decision trees, and sometimes you have to gamble with it. Sometimes there's no correct call. It's like you got to gamble and just hope you get there type thing. So
right, and then it's probably important. It's important, just like if you're watching what's on the table in blackjack, what's been in the discard pile.
Yeah.
What have they switched out with the green?
Yep. So that's something that people still don't do. People like forget immediately a lot of times about things that people like get, like what you just said, like when they switch out a card for their for a green, or how many doubles they have left, like how many double oranges they have, like who should attack first. So like if you have a guy, let's say if you have 2 cards left in your deck, something as simple as attacking with a character that doesn't have bold first, potentially, to get those last 2 cards out of your deck to reshuffle. And then, like, let's say all 6 of your double oranges were in your scrap pile. Well, then now you can attack with, let's use Barrage for an example. It'd probably be better to attack with Barrage with that fresh deck to potentially hit a lot more of those double oranges to get a larger attack. Little things like that, just turn sequencing and attack sequencing and things like that. Or those very small details will definitely win you more games than not. And checking your opponent's scrap pile, little things like seeing how many security checkpoints your opponent has left, if you should play set upgrade or not. So many little different aspects to pay attention to that I want to actually bring to light more, get more in depth with the game. And a couple of I think I want to start doing a podcast soon. So we'll see how that goes. But going into 2020.
Nice. Yeah. The piece that I asked Dan was, is it more important is it the pilot, or is it the characters that you have in your deck, or is it the battle cards? If you didn't have one or the other, what's the most important out of those 3, would you say?
Well, definitely the pilot. It's definitely the pilot. Outside of bugs, which I've been known in the community to hating people, the bugs, Steffon doesn't like that deck, just I want to say make fun of me for it, but it's known in the community that I can't stand that. And what I've explained to people before, and I don't think I've made this super clear, it's not that a good player that plays the deck I don't respect. I just don't like the fact that, and it's just my opinion, it's just the fact that I don't like that a new player, which I've lost to plenty of times, that can pick up the deck and beat me with it when I prepared with my deck for 2-3+ weeks. The sheer power level of the deck by just playing the grenade launcher and a supercharge or whatever, and just watching your opponent flip 1,000 cards for kickback is just, I just don't respect that. It's whatever. And I think that's a lot of the reason why, I'm always talking about I love the range cards so much. I think I've learned to love those cards so much because of bugs. And people bring up these arguments to me, first of all, that have nothing to do with my issue with the deck. Blaster is the same thing. The thing is, if Blaster would have came out before bugs, then I would have had a problem with Blaster. But I introduced the bugs first, so bugs is just the one I just hate. And who likes a bug anyway? So
for sure. Yeah, I hear you. But, so the margin for error is so little, so it doesn't really take somebody paying attention 100%. As long as you kind of do. You
get some things right, because of course a new player is still probably going to misplay. But I just don't like that you could misplay so bad and still beat me because kickback. You put it, what I mean? You still hit me for 15 or whatever. Right. But it's all good. I'm over it. I've been over it for a long time. It's just like a running joke now that how I don't like the deck. It's whatever at this point. But that's the deal. Anybody that's really good with the deck, that's like the ultimate pilot with bugs. If I lose to you, I'm not even mad. It's the new player, and it's funny because WTC, that's kind of what that deck was built for a new player to be able to come into the game. Because normally when a new player comes into a game, they usually get their butt kicked for a while. Until they learn the hang of things, but bugs can actually give you that edge and kind of surpass you, that you can win games off the bat, which I guess is cool. But
right. And what you're saying is you probably can't even really sideboard against it if somebody chooses to play it. It's still kind of tough to work around. Potentially,
yeah. I mean, overall, it's all good. It's a powerful deck. I've clearly given it respect because I value direct damage so much. So things like that. But yeah. Yep. But yeah, definitely the pilot, though. To answer your initial question, sorry, I kind of got out.
No, you're cool. But, we're passionate. We get on tangents.
For sure. Yeah, the pilot is absolutely the biggest part. Like I said, all those different aspects of checking your opponent's scrap pile, your scrap pile, when to flip a character, when not to flip a character, thinking about what their move's going to be. So many different things. That's why I said it ends up becoming a headache sometimes with all the things I think about during the game.
Right.
So
I hear you. So
I'll look through my opponent's scrap pile 10 times, and I know they look at me like, "What the hell is he doing?" And I'm like, literally trying to memorize the entire thing, what he has left.
I've seen you on the VODs shuffling through there real quick and before you make your move. So you talked about your reaction, or the stigma there is around bugs. Are you surprised how the community, and we're a pretty small community, less than 5,000 people so far, continues to grow? How the meta is shaped by champion decks such as Kevin's Cliff Jumper, your Shockwave. Are you surprised by how the community reacts to it and how the meta kind of shifts around that? People start to play those cards more often.
No. I mean, that's always been a thing since I've been even playing Yu-Gi-Oh! winning deck will always have more influence over, any other deck. And not saying that that the first place deck isn't good, but there's sometimes that there's one of the decks in the top 8 or in the top 16 or whatever that were actually the best deck in the room. It's just, obviously sometimes even the best deck can't win them all.
Cards don't fall the right.
Yeah, so you get so hopped up and focused on the winning deck, which actually is a smart move because you just have to automatically expect it. Everybody's like, oh, well, if that guy won with Optimus, maybe I could win with Optimus, and immediately, just gravitate towards that.
Yeah.
So, or then you have people that want to beat it, like automatically. So, yeah, I think there's those two ends of the spectrum, and then you just have that middle sphere where people just kind of just play whatever, and call it a day. But you have to definitely account for the deck that won and just expect it at the next tournament. So that's definitely an aspect to pay attention to, lead into the next tournament.
Would your advice to new players be to emulate something that's already working, or to put their brain power to the test and try to brew something?
Play something that's already out there, because that's what I did to start. I saw bugs and I don't know, for whatever reason, even since the beginning, before I even knew how powerful the deck was, I knew I didn't want to play that. I knew Optimus was so there's that. I knew Optimus was the man. So I saw about a 2-tall prime. 2-tall prime is probably my number one favorite deck from the start, because that's the first deck I started with. And then I learned about potentially going 3-wide, and Scott Landis, shout out to Vector Sigma, he created a 3-wide deck, and then went from there. So I would definitely go with what's already out there and then branch off as you learn the game. And even play bugs. I'm not shying people away from playing bugs. I just can't stand when I lose to a new player playing it. That's all. But yeah. I get over that. But yeah, absolutely. Decks that are already out there is probably the best way to go. And just learn the game, get the hang of the game. A lot of reps. If you do have a community around you that's playing, take advantage of it, because you still got a lot of places that are trying to build their communities, 2, 3, 4 people a week. Trying to get that stretch. So. Yeah.
Okay. So. Echoing what Dan said last week is it's not a knock to your creativity, but if you want to get inside the head of the people that are winning, play something that is proven, and then iterate from there. If something's not working for you,
right?
Once you've gotten the reps in, then you can start to change it, right?
Exactly. Yep. Just about. Yep.
Yep.
I think that's the best way to go about it, because you could build your own thing, but then if you're not understanding, well, why am I not winning, or why is this and that not working? There's nothing wrong. Net decking is not a bad thing. It gets you started. It's just a jump starter. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. There's a reason why it won, right?
Yep. Hey, my Origins deck was Scott's deck, so I have no problem saying that. Sometimes it's like that. So.
Yeah. No shame in the game.
Nope.
So. Jumping into the Energon Invitational, there was and this was a point of contingency for some. How do you feel about the non-constructed portion of that event?
I'm trying to say this as non-biased as possible because my pool was broken.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan. I bounced back and forth. As soon as I heard about it, I was like, that really sucks. The first thing that came to my mind was somebody pulls a super rare, beats me. That's pretty lame. But then I learned, and then Dan kind of talked me out of that. It's not going to be that simple, because of how things, I saw some people that went 3-0, even Dan himself, that their characters and things weren't really that broken. It was really about those black icons and things like that, little things that people weren't paying attention to. If they had a whole bunch of blues that wasn't actually that good, because those black icons, you just get in for Pierce 1 to 4-ish plus, every turn anyway. So all the blue really wasn't really helping. But overall, I still wish. I just don't think we should have Seal in there. I didn't like that, to be honest with you. I guess, to say it simply.
Yeah.
Despite me doing well with it, I didn't like how somebody that's prepared for the tournament started out 2-0, potentially lost a round or 2, and just skewed the entire thing from sealed, and then kind of threw off the rest of the day. I really feel like it should have just been 9 straight rounds of constructed and let the best of the best play it out. Maybe throw sealed in somewhere else, or just not at all. I would be happy if it weren't there again next year. I'll say that. But if it is, whatever.
Right. Or even a second tournament for people that didn't qualify, that are just at
something.
The event.
Yeah, make a separate sealed tournament. That sounds good too. Yep.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
So
But apparently they do this
Yeah.
in Magic. It's like I say that. I say I
Mhm.
wasn't a fan of it, but I'll do what I got to do because I mean, you know, I'm not gonna not go play.
Oh
But
yeah,
like
yeah.
that Magic and like some other games apparently do things like that too. They have like some of their tournament as one portion, so it's just something to adapt to. And I think I'm saying I don't like it from the point of I'm not used to it. In Yu-Gi-Oh, we played a straight constructed 12-round tournament, and you know, over thousands of people, and that was it. Not any other random, you know, draft. And apparently, I've heard draft would be better for this game or what. I don't know. So I'm not used to that. You know, so I guess it's something I got to get used to. And yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's a method to the madness. I don't know what it is, but it does seem odd for people to have won their ticket, prepared, and then be like, "Hey, you don't get to do," you know, there's another degree of randomness, which
right.
Which
I mean,
mess you
like to it's kind of like counters what I'm saying myself, but you know, talking again with the Vector Sigma guys, like Dan was saying specifically, how, you know, was your deck really as good as you could have built it? Because there were like little hidden things like going 4 wide, and then like I said, those black icons are very important. It wasn't all about having a whole bunch of weapons, and you know, like, but I just think the black icon was a very intricate part of the entire thing. And but then at the same time, I really did hear some players that just pulled straight garbage.
Mm-hmm.
They just couldn't compete with what their opponents had. They're just, you know what I mean? So
right, like
that makes you feel real bad, you know. So.
Brunt pants, 6-gun pants, Skytread head, just like a bunch of like components. Yeah.
Right, you know. Or just in general, like just not as good as their opponent. Like there's just a point, like honestly, all 3 of my games were 2-0s. And like I played against some people that I think I played against 2 guys that had really good decks, and one was like a what kind of, you know, subpar deck, but it was still, you know, decent. But like I honestly felt like my pool was so overpowered that I couldn't be beat. So I was on the other side of that, not like, oh well, I pulled kind of bad and I'm just losing everybody. I felt like I was on the other end of that, and I don't think that's fair either. So you know, like I said, I want to try to say this from the least biased standpoint because I pull well, but either way, I mean, just because I pull well don't mean I'm a fan. So I mean, it's whatever though.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's what I wanted to know, and I'm sure you know, the folks that didn't show up there wanted to see how it goes. So, any advice to the players looking to compete in 2020 or build a community?
I think Facebook page. Facebook will be the best way to do it because we have such a big community. If you are able to, if you have access to Facebook, definitely get on Facebook and try to create you even like a separate page for whatever area you're in, because you know social media is the new thing of the going into 2020, especially. Well, it's been the new thing for a while, but especially going into 2020 rather. So I think that'd be the best way to do that for building a community. And if you want to be competitive, don't shy away from checking out Vector Sigma's channel. My channel has some cool. I do some like commentary and things like that, and try to explain some things. There's a whole bunch of content creators that you know were definitely, even some up and coming ones too. So I think that'd be the best thing to do is to just listen to those podcasts. You listen to other people's interviews and things like that. Soak up as much knowledge. There's a lot of information out there, free information too. On top of that, and and there's some like Patreon. There's some YouTubers do some Patreon things too, which I think are probably worth it as well to you know, learn some things as well, some insider things. So
I always like watching the Wreck and Rule and the Blues on Attack videos, even though sometimes it's more entertainment than it is like true competitive. It's just some jank grinding up on jank. But
right, it's all good. But I mean, like, so and I like that there's a portion for everybody. It's not just a whole bunch of stuck up competitive mean guys that just want to come and win money or win prizes. You got both sides of the spectrum, you know. I don't like how the community is divided though between competitive players. It's very clear to tell the competitive players and the casual players. Casual, but I'll still go to a tournament players. I don't like that the community is divided, and I've never been on record saying that till now, but it is. Whatever.
Yeah, I think that is a lot of. I mean, that's just feelings. It's probably people who haven't won before.
It's just they look at the competitive players, the minority, and we're looked at as, oh, they're stuck up and all they want to do is win. Like pretty much what I was just saying, and like, you know, just arrogant or all these other things.
Yeah,
absolutely not. Like,
if anybody listening to this had any preconceptions before jumping on of what you would be like. I think everything's been dispelled during this interview. I mean, super down to earth guy, humble, even pleading for the other side when you waxed them 2-0 in the sealed event. Hey, make sure you give me the two packs down on the left side. Those are always
right. Well, you know what? It was funny, and I appreciate those words, by the way. But it's funny though, because one of the guys at the table, that one of the players, he kind of just like started handing out the packs, and honestly, the first thing that came to my mind is, who told you to touch those? Because I don't know if we're supposed to be doing that yet. And I was like, whatever. Everybody else looks like they have their packs. Whatever. And he handed me some packs. And in my head, I'm like, man, I want to pick up my own packs. But you know what? I'm glad I let him pick my packs, because that's where I'm at. So, but it's all good. But yeah.
So you talked about you've got a channel. You're going to be starting up a podcast this year, talking about the competitive aspect. You do some commentaries. This is the point where I give it to you to kind of do your thing. Let the folks know what you've got going on.
Okay. So, DefTF is my channel. DEFTF stands for Definitely Transformers. Big old Decepticon, half Autobot logo when you type it in. So that'll be me. Definitely come check the channel out. I got some commentary on some of my videos. I definitely want to try to get my visuals better going into 2020, maybe get some more equipment, and just keep doing what I'm doing. I say it's a podcast, but pretty much just like a talk, like I'm actually going to do. You'll hear it here first. I haven't even said it on my own channel yet. So just talking about it from my channel, I'm going to be doing a section called the Champ Camp. Well, I take that back. I did say it on my channel, but what it's going to be is it's going to be a collaboration of all the champions in the game so far. So, and then every champion, as long as I'm still playing the game, or I'm in the game or whatever. So between, you got Kevin, Alan, Kyle Wynn, Jake, I don't remember his last name, sorry I forget your last name, but Jake from PPG Vegas, and then of course my man Dan Arnold. So just pretty much like a little segment, maybe 30 minutes to an hour, once every other week potentially. Get in touch with those guys and just talk a lot about like their thought process when they were, in their tournament, how they felt when they won, all those good things. So
nice.
Just really in depth, just talking to them about what they think, like pretty much like kind of what you were asking me, like what they think about when they're playing and things like that. It's kind of get into the head of all the champions. So that way that, other people can listen to this stuff and get inspired to want to come to these tournaments, even hopefully new players to want to come and compete and be a champion as well. So, and then every champion going forward, I'm also going to always snag them on the channel and get them to come rap with me a little while about what's going on with the game and all those good things. So
awesome.
Yeah, so whoever wins PPG the championship in Orlando, be talking to them soon, so that'll be cool.
Very cool. Well, it's something that I will definitely be listening to. The rest of the Double Pipcast crew will be tuning into as well. And Steffon, hopefully I see you at the next event, whether Absolutely. That's Origins, whether that's Gen Con this year.
Well, I definitely got to go to Origins because Ohio seems to be my spot. I won both my championships in Ohio, so I have to go back no matter what at all costs.
I'll be playing bugs.
Okay. Oh man, here we go. Sounds good. I'll be looking forward to the competition, man.
Awesome. Hey, well, thanks for joining, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate you having me on, man. Thanks a lot, Kim.
Yeah, for sure. And thanks everybody for listening. Stay tuned for the next episode where we talk to Kevin Allen, and tune in to DefTF, Steffon's channel. Thank you all, and have a good one.